This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You've got to ask yourself whether reality is a dream or if you are dreaming reality. We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration. You are the master of reality's creation.
Welcome to Creating Reality. It all happens here in the live stream of consciousness. Now let's welcome your host of the moment, Michael Zinn.
Hello, brothers and sisters. What's up? I was inspired to say that from just by the essence of my guest tonight, because he's one of those people that you meet in life that just kind of has this impression they make on you. They have an essence. You could feel their essence, and he always used to say that. Or that's how he talks to people, brothers and sisters. Everyone's brothers and sisters. We are all brothers and sisters. Me and my shadow. What is up? Good to see you. I am looking at a brand new StreamYard interface. They redesigned it, and I may or may not be able to keep up with it. But if you're here, you know the routine. Let's tickle the algorithm a little bit. Give me a little hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. That just tells the algorithm that something's going on, and it should pay attention and show it to more people. And it helps grow this amazing community where we are actually creating reality every Thursday. We do it collectively. And then I'm hoping during the week that you guys are creating your own realities. And that's the way it is. So today's Thursday. It's March 26th. Me and my shadow is here live. I see there's a couple of other people out there. Again, I'm trying to grow this community. So if you can just hit share or type hello, type an emoticon, just, type a space. It helps. I appreciate it. But anyway, let's get the show going. Let's set some intention. Let's clear the space. Let's ground together and take a breath or three with Sage, the incredible singing bowl. Breathing is fundamental. So if you don't remember how to do it, I do it this way, in through the nose. You can follow. It's like a 4 count. We do. And I hold it just at the top for a little bit. Sometimes I pull it a little deeper. I'll say pull it a little deeper, and then we let it out. And when we let it out, it's very intentional. It's like, sometimes it's even like, everybody's got their own style of breathing, which is pretty cool when you do meditating. And if you've got some essential oils, put the essential oils on your wrists and breathe it in and feel it and all that stuff. It's all the sensation of clearing the space in the moment. So here we go. Everybody ready? Breathe in with me. Hold it up at the top and just let it out intentionally. Feel it. Oh, I feel my shoulders start to relax, letting go of everything I don't need. Take another deep breath in. Hold it up at the top and feel it. Feel it leave. Just feel what you don't need leave your body. Any moments that you just didn't like today. I don't even remember them. Last one up to the top. Let it out. Sink a little bit lower into your chair. Feel it. Listen to Sage. Listen to that. Oh my God, you hear that? That's amazing. I feel Sage vibrating right next to me. She's amazing. Thank you guys for indulging me in that. What is up? Amanda Deaf. Good to see you here. Hashtag live. So, yes, brothers and sisters, we're here tonight to reminisce a little bit. I have something a little bit different than normal. I have an old friend of mine. I didn't have a guest lined up tonight. I reached out on Facebook. I said, hey, anybody want to come live? And my guest, Dustin, reached out. He said, you need a guest? Sure. What time? I said 9 p.m. He said, sure. I said, give me your email. And I know the show is usually like metaphysical people and, sometimes a little off the beaten path. Well, Dustin is off the beaten path, but not in the same way, more as a musician. But when he answered me, I knew he was the right guest for tonight, because the theme of this year is creating reality. And Dustin has definitely created his own reality. And I was witness to that. I got to say, it was probably 20 years ago, early 2000s. There was a band that I was a part of called Suck It Easy. And the reason it was called that was because it was made up. It was like open mic night was the big thing at this club. And this legendary guy, Tim, who calls himself Tim Easy, Tim Connolly, shout out to Tim Connolly. He was a big fan of all of the local bands in the area, and he decided to, for open mic, grab different pieces of the different bands, the bass player from one band, the guitar player from another band, the singer from another band, and just throw together a mishmash and play music, because it was all about the music. The club was Munchaba. It was all about the music. I see Evelyn out there. What's up, Evelyn? Blessings, and #live. Thank you. It was all about the music and the vibe. I feel like everybody I hear about is from Suck It Easy. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, it was a vibe. It was all of the bands in the open mics were not competing with each other. Everybody was there supporting everybody else. Everybody would get up and play and have the best time playing. And then they would sit and listen and have the best time listening. It was just a really, really special time for me, for music. Jennifer McCormick, what's happening? Good to see you. And Kelly, I don't see Kelly. I didn't see Kelly say hello. Kelly doesn't produce this show. This is my own thing. But if she's here, hello, Kelly. I didn't see her pop in. Anyway, back to Suck It Easy and the story of Dustin Easy, who you're about to meet. I'll let him talk more about his experience, but Suck It Easy existed probably a little bit before he came on. He saw it and he was like, what is this? What is going on? And that was the beauty of Suck It Easy. It gave anybody the opportunity to come and be a part of it and come up on stage and express themselves musically. And some nights was a train wreck, but some nights was a beautiful, amazing experience of letting go and being in the moment and just having fun, and just like that moment that everybody's looking for, that everybody talks about. I'm so grateful that even before I kind of started thinking about these things and was intentional with my energy was there. I was experiencing those things. I was experiencing the moment of flow, the flow state, of just being in the moment and being playful. And speaking of being playful, I've been babbling for way too long. So I want to introduce you all to my amazing friend, Mr. Dustin Easy Sclafani. What's up, Dustin?
Hey, thank you. Blessings. It is so nice to be here. It's wow. Yeah, it's been 20 years. 20 years.
Crazy, right?
20 years. And I started with Suck It Easy through the podcast.
Oh, okay. Wow. Which we were doing actually at the house. We all lived together in a house.
And you guys all lived together. And yeah. I was not only, I was there for a couple of the episodes, but I was also there for the Foldies with the Bowley.
The Foley with the Bowley.
And really got involved in that. I actually was listening to, I have CDs. Timmy sent me some CDs.
Oh, listening to the old episodes?
Listening to the old episodes.
So what Dustin is talking about, wow, amazingly enough. So this was 2002, maybe 2003. I had a MacBook computer. We all lived in a house together. I took my MacBook upstairs. We had microphones and we did a podcast. Basically, it was pre-recorded, and it was what was it called? The Suck It Easy.
Easy Town Radio.
Easy Town Radio. Oh my God, how could I forget? Easy Town Radio. Amazing. Before our time, we were doing like a radio show. We would pick a band, right, to feature on. It would be like the Led Zeppelin episode. We would play like 5 Led Zeppelin songs, but in between the songs, we would do these ridiculous skits and commercials and fake things. And it was like, it would be anywhere from between 3 people to like 7 people sitting around in a room, all just smoking pot
Yep.
and just having a blast and being in the moment and just creating.
Yeah.
And again, so I look back on those days and I'm like so grateful that creating reality was always a part of my essence. I just didn't know it, right? And so
Yeah.
knowing it has evolved into this, right? This is part of my reality I've created for myself.
And it's so interesting too, because life becomes so secular. You know, like you and I, we gravitate towards each other every couple of hi Jennifer, how are you? It's you know, we gravitate towards each, because I actually met you before I joined Suck It Easy.
That's right.
I met you because you were doing a lot of the photography and videography for Grayscale.
Yep.
And we practiced. I was in a group called Times Hand, and we practiced there every Tuesday. So we became like the little brother band.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. So we were kind of gravitating around each other, and then we kind of started collaborating in Suck It Easy, and Easy Town Radio, which was so much fun. Oh my God, I gotta play some of those episodes. And again, to think about what we were doing, you know, and what podcasting has become and how it is, like, you know, just like the thing. Everybody has a podcast now, right?
Yep.
But it's an amazing medium, and it's amazing. It was always amazing to play and create and do that stuff. So my story that I wanted to talk about with you, and my memory of you as far as Suck It Easy, the band, was that you wanted to sing and you were really scared. You were really, really scared to sing. And I remember you always like facing the drums, you know, not even, you know, the first couple of times. But I mentioned Tim Easy. I mentioned he was legendary. He was the kind of guy who, again, it was just like an essence, right? Like I can remember I was actually playing with a band called Giant Size at the time. I didn't know who he was, and he came up to me at Munchaba and he said, "Hey, are you Mike Zinn, the bass player from Giant Size?" And he made me feel like I was a celebrity. Like he was just so authentically interested in having a conversation with me. And you know, again, that was who he was. And then from that, he created Suck It Easy, which was just like a rotate. Like there must have been at some point like 50 different musicians involved with Suck It Easy. You know what I mean? Whoever was available on that night.
The last rolling roster number, I think, was 452.
Wow.
452 active members in Suck It Easy. At any point in time, people could be playing a real hello. You know,
what's up, Jennifer? Good to see you. And
you know,
and Amanda said that fear is very long gone.
No, that fear is well, that fear, it actually left, and it left because of a moment. You know,
tell us the story.
We live 100% behind moments and different things like that. And I've always known that music was something that I wanted to do. And I started performing actually younger, doing the acoustic stuff. But because I was like 16 years old, and people, I was writing and doing what later becomes folk punk, actually. Becomes a whole style, which I was doing when I was 16. It was awesome. You know, but I'd gotten so beat down by the singer-songwriter aspect of it, and so beaten down by being so young, and there not being I hated the business aspect of it, and I loved the music.
Right.
And I kind of quit and retired for a hot minute. And then we did the Easy Town Radio, which was just so much fun and improv, and it really tested the muscles, and then I really started to fall in love with the music again. You know, because I was then going home and listening to the episodes, and then taking from that music and being my obsessiveness, I go directly into the root and dive deeper and deeper. Right. You know, and then go from there. But it was also these moments like the Easy Town Radio, where it was moments where I had to be completely
in flow state.
Netless.
Yeah. You were in flow state. You were going with it. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what when I think about it, it's like I wish I could like do that intentionally now. Like now I have to like it's like I have to focus and to do that, right? Before I was just doing it because
Yeah.
I was there. Now it's like, working and doing this stuff all the time. It's like, oh shit, I have to make time to do that, to play music and to
Yeah.
do the things that I love, to be a creator. I think, creativity and creation is part of that whole idea of creating reality, what it says up there. It's like, we are all creators, whether it be music or art or food or massage or dance, whatever it is. It's like we're all creators. And that's what I love about that's what I loved about Suck It Easy, and that's what I loved about who I am and the different creative aspects that I touch on. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll talk about it later. All right, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I'm
gonna go on with the
yeah. Let's hear. I want to
so
hear.
Here I am. I'm 20 something years old, barely old enough to have an idea or a point of view, and I'm working at GameStop. In just that tireless type of aspect. And then one Mother's Day, a car comes through the front of the store.
Oh shit, I think I remember that.
And I had to pull one of my employees over the counter. So I walked towards the car. So now I'm literally facing my own mortality. And I walked towards the car. And then it was that following Friday where I just let everything loose on stage. And I never turned back.
Wow.
I remember, because growing up, my competitive aspect, you always looked at it, was I thought of the scene. If you've seen Great Balls of Fire.
Yes.
The scene where they're arguing, Chuck Berry and Jerry Lewis is arguing over who's going to go on after who and all this, who's going to headline. Right. And Jerry Lewis is like, fine. And then he lights his piano on fire. And then that became who I wanted to be. That became the energy that I needed. And it was so incredible to have Timmy up there, because he had such this incredible confidence that just spilled into you. And you didn't have to believe in yourself, because Timmy did.
Yeah.
And if Timmy believed in you, you could do anything.
Yeah. I remember witnessing it, and I remember experiencing it, like my story with him the first time I met him. And that's, what an amazing power, right? To be so comfortable with yourself that you can instill that in other people just by being around them, and I think that was something that I always was drawn to with Tim, and that was something I always aspired to, and I feel like became part of my essence. I just want to acknowledge Evelyn, or actually Jennifer first, who says, when I was talking about bass, that's so cool. My partner's dad played bass in A Flock of Seagulls. Not to date ourselves, but wow, that's pretty damn cool. And I ran so far away. And Evelyn says, "Am I still playing?" And yes, I am. And we'll talk about that. The band I'm playing with is Pride Before the Fall. Pride Against the Machine, I was going to say.
Pride Against the Machine.
Pride Before the Fall. And we're a little on a hiatus right now, actually, but that is a current band. And I'll talk about it later. Again, right now I'm here to celebrate Dustin and his amazing story. That is an amazing story. And when I said I remember, I don't think I knew you were involved with that, but I remember being on Long Island, that happening, the car going through the GameStop. And that's happened a lot actually recently on Long Island. A couple of cars going through storefronts and stuff like that. The world is like, all this crazy energy is going on right now.
Well, it's because there's a lot of crazy energy going on, and a lot of people are playing the divide game instead of playing the unite game. We actually need community to survive and thrive. That's what Suck It Easy taught me, and I took that and I brought that into the next world. And when I needed, I became Dustin Easy. Like I created my own reality.
Totally.
I saw, what Timmy was looking at in me. And I was like, I can build off of this. I can be this, and, Dustin Sclafani didn't even have to worry about anything.
I love that you've separated those.
Oh yeah.
Those personalities, right?
It gets crazier too, because then I joined the military.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I remember that too. Oh my God. So tell, keep going. I
joined the military, and my last name is tough to pronounce. So I just told everyone to call me Easy, but in the military, your last name becomes your first name. So everyone was just calling me Easy. Easy. So I then became the character of Easy Blues,
That's
which is my
amazing.
entertainment.
That's amazing because I don't know if you know, but I definitely talk about the power of words, right? And the power of thought, right? And
Right.
like that is just instilling the word and the thought at the same time, all the time in your presence. That's an amazing story. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Well, and anytime like in basic training when I hit that wall where I couldn't go anymore, I knew Dustin couldn't do it, but
Mhm.
Easy's got it covered.
Wow.
And that's how I
Love
just
it.
kept going through. And that's the same way that I look at going on stage now, whether it's any type of show, I come from a little bit of that with the martial arts background.
Right.
I come from the warrior code. It is an honor to die on stage, and that will be my undoing at one point. This last show I literally fell off the stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a testament to like really getting into it, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, and being in the moment. And I think that's kind of cool. And I see Arnie just stepped in. What's up, Arnie? Good to see you. Meet my friend Dustin. We're telling his amazing story. Yeah, Dustin, I didn't know some of this story, but
Mhm.
I knew some of it. And yeah, it's even more amazing when I think about it of who you are and who your essence is. And I really do see that in I'm a couple years older than you, but
Right.
in my journey, I see that people who have gone through these experiences, who you would never expect to be like this peace loving, calm person, by like, I'm sure people say that to you like by appearance. They're like, oh man,
Oh yeah, they're
I never
terrified.
expected you to be so nice,
Why are you so? I literally have to wear like I work the door at Cafe 9, and
Okay.
I wear a pink hat just so that people
Just to
don't
put
look at
people
me
at
and
ease.
aren't too sad because I'm fully tattooed. I
Right.
forget how I look because
Right.
like I might be fully tattooed. I might have knuckle tattoos, but my knuckle tattoos say Nanu Nanu. you know,
That's great.
because
Oh
it
my god.
reminds me to laugh. It
Yeah.
reminds me to not take it all so seriously.
Amazing, amazing. Such a great story. I want to I want to hear more actually before we get to the current things that are going on, because
Okay.
I can't wait to share that video that we were talking about earlier and everything. But I feel like there's more in between Suck It Easy and the military
Mhm.
and Shane Penguin, which is the name of the band that we're going to
Yep.
talk about. But
Well, it was an interesting journey because I joined the military, and throughout joining the military, I kind of left home situation as home situation, and the home situation got a little out of control.
mhm, mhm,
Um, to the point where due to choices, and I hold myself accountable because I am accountable, and that's the way things go. But due to choices and decisions that were made, I actually came back from the military having no place to live,
mm,
um, and not having visitation of my children.
mm,
Um, and then New York State actually took the boys from their mother and gave them to me.
mm.
And I went from military life to raising 3.5-year-olds.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
Amazing, because I know, I know the end of the story, or not the
yeah.
end, but like I know how that situation ends, right? It might
Right.
sound, and you know what? It's interesting because I was definitely seeing some shows today and some allusions to the whole idea of when you're in a situation that may seem like, oh my God, this is horrible. There's a reason that you're in that situation, and it's up to you to find the reason that you're in that situation and get out of it better than you got into it.
Well, that's 100%. But actually, it's a quote from you that gets me through the situations all the
Oh shit.
time. Yeah, we were at the house, and you said, you're going through it right now. The only way to get through it is to get to the other side. You're just gonna have to go through it,
You got to
but
go
you
through it.
you get to the other side. You'll be fine.
Right. Right.
And that's
Wow.
anytime like the shit's really hit the fan. I've gone back to that quote.
Holy moly, that's amazing to hear that I said something that affected somebody else, and
Yeah,
in that way. And that's beautiful, man. That is exactly this full circle moment that we're in right now. I love it so much, Dustin. That's amazing. Thank you for
of
answering
course.
that Facebook post today.
Of
Amazing.
course. Of
Yeah, really
course.
amazing. Amazing. So, okay, so tell us a little bit about tell us a good story from that you remember getting through that it ends up being a story that you can look at and be like, holy shit, that happened. That was fucking tough, but I'm so glad that happened.
It was the day that I had to catch a ferry, 3 buses, 2 cabs, and walk 2.5 miles to get to the court to deal with the custody aspect of it, because I had already moved to Connecticut.
Mm, mm,
But we moved out here to Connecticut because my little sister went to college out here, and I spent a month out here with her and my little brother, and the music scene is just gorgeous. I met some incredible musicians,
cool.
the amazing Mark Lyon,
Mm,
one of the best guitar players out there, and by one of the best human beings.
mm,
Like, his soul is just, oh, magnifique. You
mhm.
know, he's one of those people where you don't feel good until you have a Mark Lyon hug, and then everything is okay.
That's great. See, I love and I feel like that's an important thing too, because we're talking about the essence of people, right?
Hmm.
Throughout our life. And I think it's important because I think that once you start to understand what that even means
Yeah.
and what your own accountability for that is, you start to attract those kinds of people into your life and you start to get surrounded by that energy more and more. Um, that's awesome. I love it. Keep going. This is great.
So, and the way it all evolves into Shame Penguin is actually from us, from Suck It Easy.
Okay.
So out here, they do this thing called the Rock Lottery,
Mhm.
and what it is you show up, you put your name in a hat, they pull bands out of this hat, and they give you 3
That's cool.
weeks to come up with a cover, original song, a mashup, all this kind of stuff.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think I remember when you were doing this too. Yeah, yeah.
So I sign up to do this, and I get to meet this incredible this man Johnny Oz, who winds up playing drums for we were the Chess Rockwells. So we were like, with that name, all we could think of is like, our whole gimmick is cheesy porno, you
Mhm.
know. So we just built everything off of being a sleazy rock band. Like, that was our whole. We're a sleazy rock band. Once we knew who we were, we knew the voice we could speak in.
So it was almost like a performance band.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
Which
it was complete.
and I think Suck It Easy actually at some point
Mm,
started playing around with that. We were doing all sorts of like special performances, comic book theme nights
yep.
and different things. That's very cool. I love that whole aspect of what you're talking about because that's what I was talking about earlier, creativity. It's just like
Hmm.
let's mix it up a little bit. Let's not take it so seriously, right? I mean, that's amazing. Keep going. I'm loving this, man. This is a great story.
So I click with Johnny Oz, and um, at the time I'd released a solo record, just a solo EP that I put out there, that these incredible human beings, Alon Gordon and John Francis, executive produced and produced this incredible piece of music that is sonically perfect. Sonically, it is
Awesome.
absolutely genius, but there's no
Mhm.
identity there because I didn't show myself.
Mm,
I
okay.
tried to play what I thought was the person that was necessary for the part,
Okay. Okay.
instead of just being my genuine self.
Okay.
So I got lost in translation.
Okay.
And again, I hold myself 100% accountable for that,
Sure.
because
Sure.
I
Sure.
should have spoken up. I should have understood the music industry better. I should have said some things that were said, and that's fine. Again, I hold both Alon and John in such high regard. I love them to death.
And I think you need people like that in your life to inspire you, like Tim Connolly. Again, you know, with the same thing along the way. And I want to also acknowledge Amanda, who says, I can absolutely see the Jerry Lee Lewis of Dustin's performances, always pushing the limits. I'm sure a lot of my audience hasn't seen you. I don't know if there's anybody else out there who's seen Dustin perform. I do have an amazing video. I want to talk about Shame Penguin and how that all started. Oh, my camera is acting up again. I want to talk about how that all started and what the meaning of it is, because I know there's so many layers to you, dude. It's like it's not just like you're not just surface. And you know, and again, for the folks out there, you know, this music it's not mainstream music, right?
No.
It's weird stuff, but but I mean, how much fun is that? How much fun is that?
So
And I've got to actually I've got to hook you up, Dustin, with there's this kid on YouTube, and he's actually going to be my guest in 2 weeks, who is doing this You Rock TV, and he basically says it's MTV on YouTube, and he plays all submitted music.
Oh, awesome!
It's all, you know, bands. It's no like nothing mainstream. All submitted music, all sorts of genres. He's got these little like things in between, like little MTV little videos that, like, you know, hey, we're gonna play today's new bands, you know, and it's like
that's awesome.
He's got, and he's so awesome. And then occasionally he'll play something live. But I would definitely, I'm going to hook you up because you should submit some videos to him.
Oh yeah, definitely. We started doing some submissions to festivals. That's
awesome.
That's the new game.
Yeah.
That's the new game. But that's
awesome. That's awesome.
But before we even get to the festivals, here where we're doing the Rock Lottery, and I met a phenomenal guitar player. And actually watching this person perform, really, I was like, wow, this is the energy that I want to bring forth. This dude feels it and understands it, you know, gets it from the genuflection of it all. So we started talking, and I was like, what do you think of the songs? And he's like, I like your voice. Can we start with new songs? I was like, word, let's start with new songs.
Wow. Okay.
And, you know, we started just on my couch.
Wow.
You know, just
that could be a blessing. You know, listen, when you find someone who resonates with what you're doing and wants to, like, you know, communicate and create, you know what I mean? Like, that could be inspiring. Yeah. I love it.
So
okay, so
we start practicing, and then we're like, okay, this is not an acoustic duo type of music. We need other pieces.
You need a band.
You know, we need a band. We need to see what this will all go through. Yeah. So, you know, I was like, well, I know this incredible drummer, is a phenomenal pop punk drummer, Kenny Marachi. And I love him so much. Again, one of the most positive people I've ever met. And, like, no joke, we're recording right now. And, you know, with the producer, you know, we're turning us all over to the screen and pointing. Like, do you see this? He's always on the one. That's what you need. He's always on the one.
Okay. So somebody listening. Yeah.
So Kenny is always on the one. He's always there for whatever. He's a former Eagle Scout, you know, so, like, he shows up with a set list and some bandages just in case. You know, he's got 4 different equipment for his. Yeah, it's great. Yes, Kenny is everyone's favorite penguin.
Well, that's awesome. Everyone's favorite penguin. I love that. So tell me more about the penguin. So is that guitar player your current guitar player? And Kenny?
No, unfortunately, he saw some darkness. And he had to go handle some darkness. I still wish him nothing but the best, and wish him a lot of healing, and hope that he will too see the other side of it. You know, but unfortunately, we could not continue, especially with the darkness that was representing going against our messaging. You know, when I'm on stage and I'm saying Shame Penguin is all about consent, you know, we can't have someone violating that.
Right. Gotcha.
So,
yeah. No, I saw on the homepage of your of your YouTube channel, the love message, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh dude, this is crazy, this is nuts. I was like super psyched. Cool. So tell us how Shame Penguin evolved, and what is Shame Penguin? Tell me first, what is Shame Penguin?
Well, what an actual shame penguin is it's a little stuffed animal
Mhm.
that I used to blow pot smoke into
Okay.
so that my house wouldn't smell like weed for the kids.
Okay. Okay.
So that became my shame penguin. I'm gonna go hang out with the shame penguin. And when I had the guitarist over here and I brought him into the bedroom and was like,
You guys were hanging out with the Shame
yeah,
Penguin.
we were hanging out with the shame penguin, and he's like, we were going over like names, and we got like lists of names, and we're like, this is horrible. Because
meanwhile, the Shame Penguin is sitting over there in the corner going, guys,
hi, I'm right here. So, but what becomes even more incredible is we didn't even realize, one, how much everyone loves penguins.
Right. She says, I designed Love is Love. Nice job.
Yes. That is actually our manager,
Amanda Deaf. Hello, Amanda Deaf. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness.
Yeah. She's here to make sure I don't say anything stupid.
Oh, yeah. Well, we want you to say stupid.
No, it's so what's incredible about the evolution of Shame Penguin and everything it's always been a matter of, it's about the four individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all are influenced by different styles of music. We're all influenced by different people. I mean, we have one of the best pop punk drummers out there. He's not playing pop punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're dabbling into whatever style we can mess up. We're gonna mess it up all real nice, because I believe personally that you're just trying to find your piece of the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's one big song out there, and we're just all trying to find a little piece of the song.
I love the way you're describing it, because I do feel like, you know, I was watching a bunch of the videos and trying to like find something. Some of the live stuff, like the audio is just not good, but
yeah, understandable.
But your music, like as far as the feel I get from your music, is absolutely what you were saying, right? I mean, your bass player is doing his bass thing, your drummer is doing his drum thing, your guitar player is doing his guitar thing, and somehow they all come together and you're doing your thing. You know what I mean? And it comes together. And Amanda says, call it what it is. Penguin Rock.
Penguin Rock.
She's calling you out. You're not selling it. Come on, Penguin Rock. You got to get
Penguin
that
Rock
in everybody's head.
I got to get that in everyone's head. That's the marketing side of it.
What's up, Ninja Kitty? So Ninja Kitty is the fan who's been at the show since day number one. So I've got to welcome her. It's all right that you fell asleep. No worries. You could always
it was a needed nap.
It was needed.
That's
exactly. Awesome. So Shame Penguins, it's starting to come to light. And tell me more about it. I'm imagining there's so much to it.
Well, one, it's a matter of there's no rules. It's the one place where we have enough trust in each other that we can be completely free. And to really have that trust and faith in each other. I know that if I, drop down to a knee, or if something was happening, John will be right there up there on the microphone to nail the part that's necessary until I can get it back up and do the aspect. Or they can go into a good 5-minute improv, tuning into the radio, as we like to say.
Right. No, I totally get it. Yeah, in the flow, in the moment, whatever.
In the moment.
Able to improvise. I don't know if you remember the Submersible Unit crew, which was
suck.
Me and Rick Birmingham and oh my God, how am I forgetting? Greg Frasina. Oh my God, his name like slipped out of my head for a minute. Greg Frasina. That music was all based on improvisation. You know what I mean? It was like I had not even heard of Fish at that point.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm like listening to Fish and I'm like, oh, that's kind of what we do. Some of the stuff. Amazing. Totally amazing. I love it. So what happens now that you've got a band? Now the Shame Penguins are coming together. I don't think we've talked about the guitar player yet, right? Or the new guitar player?
We end up taking an ad out on Facebook.
Okay.
And this incredible human being, Matt Brown, you
Mm.
know, just jumps up and he's like, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. And it's incredible because we had music already up there and streaming.
Mhm, mhm.
So I was able to look and see that, oh, someone in this area where Matt Brown lived was listening to us on a regular basis.
Mm.
So I was watching him practice. I was
Wow.
like, oh, okay, this is cool. He's showing the dedication here, and I can
That's
see that
interesting.
dedication. And
That's totally interesting.
you know, and it was really hello. Um,
Lynn Juneau, another great guest of mine.
that's awesome.
Purple-haired woman, you'd love her.
Awesome. Very cool. So, you know, we got together and we decided to go back because at the time we were already an established band with the other guitar player.
Mhm, mhm.
We started working with Vic Steffens from Horizon Music Group, phenomenal producer.
Cool.
The man, the myth, the legend. I mean, the stories he could tell you about hanging out with Sly and the Family Stone will blow your mind.
Oh, that's
Um,
so cool.
yeah, and again, just a phenomenal human being,
That's
and
so cool.
somebody that you know.
You know what? I love how many times you've said that because, again, I just feel like that's it. That's the way you want to go through life, right? Like finding those phenomenal human beings so that you have these stories and be like, I met this phenomenal human being
Yep.
and that phenomenal human being. I
Well,
love
and
it.
that's the key. That's the key aspect of it is, you know, one, I have a little bit of social anxiety. It's one of the things
Mhm,
that I have,
mhm,
and that I've had to fight through.
mhm.
That's why I like having the stage persona and having the real me is a wonderful thing to have. But that social anxiety, you know, all you really do want to do is be accepted. You know, I remember being like the little. I felt in Suck It Easy. I felt like I was the little puppy dog,
Mhm,
the one that
mhm.
was like
Yeah,
jumping
you
around
kinda were for
the
a little
big
bit,
bulldog,
yeah.
the one jumping around the big bulldog. You know, yeah. What do you
Yeah.
need? What do you need? I can do it. I can do
Yeah,
it.
you
Let's go
totally
about this.
were.
You know,
That's great, little cartoon, yeah.
I was, you know, I
Totally.
was totally that.
Lynn says her husband's Easy is her husband's middle name
Oh,
also.
that's awesome.
That's great. I love it, man. Dustin, it's like, again, it's amazing to reconnect with you because
Mhm.
I can remember your energy back then, right? And who you were. And like, even though you probably felt like you didn't know who you were, like
Mhm.
you still were who you were, right?
Yeah.
Even if it was Dustin Sclafani, that's still a part of you that I feel like even though you're able to separate yourself, you're
Mhm.
able to honor that part of yourself.
Oh yeah, well, and it's really important too. That's one of those things is you have to be holistic thinking.
Mm,
You know, and if you don't take care, it's that common that balance of yin and yang. Something else, you know, I really from talking with Timmy.
mhm,
You know, you have to find that balance, and you
mhm,
know, he'd always had the balance with positivity, and I'd
mhm,
always had more of a darker side creating.
mhm,
And I never, you know, I was like, oh, I'm kind of like the carbon copy.
mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
he's like, no, not really. I was like, okay.
No, but I get what you're saying, and I
Yeah.
get how you could see that, like, you felt like there was a lot of inspiration, there were a lot of
Hmm.
similarities, and
Hmm.
I think every phenomenal human being you were talking about probably says the same thing about you because of those similarities,
Right.
right? Like your respect for other people,
Right.
especially today, you know, in the world today, you look at social media and like, man, oh man, it's so hard sometimes to look and see how people are treating each other and
Hmm.
like, you know, and like to imagine for me it's both sides, right? Like I know like it would feel horrible to be treated that way, but I know like treating someone that way also
Also
doesn't
feels
feel good.
horrible. Yeah.
It
No,
doesn't feel good.
it's really interesting. I had the amazing opportunity to do a music video for Stars of Beyond,
Mm,
where they took moments from pop culture, well, moments from real culture,
mhm,
where there was racism being
mhm,
portrayed, and
mhm,
they brought that into the video, and they asked me to play one of the white guys, and I had to be violent, and and it took me about 45 minutes to calm down and like I almost had to regurgitate
mm.
all of it just to get it all out
Wow.
because it was so disgusting. just to even try it on for 5 minutes, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
in the video
relate.
for
I
like
totally
32
relate.
seconds.
Right, right. I totally relate. And interesting. And again, that's like, I think that's what people, that's the stereotype. People look at
Mhm.
you and they'll be like, oh my God, this guy's probably like a white supremacist, you know,
Yep.
and like
Oh yeah.
all of these things tattooed. And Lynn says, so true. Where is our respect? And listen, not this audience. This is a love fest right here. This is people who understand that, you know, you give what you get, right?
Mhm.
And that's, you know, even with hate and even with being miserable, right? Even with coming into the office, right, on Monday, and you just sat in traffic and you're like, it's Monday, the traffic. I can remember people saying that kind of thing, and now it's like it has such an energy to it. It carries
Mhm.
such an energy. And what you're saying about um this performance that you were doing, I have a similar story where I was playing some music. I was sitting in a band for a couple of shows, playing bass. The band was called Vibrator,
Mhm.
and it was one of the guys who was in Bile. I don't know if you remember Bile,
I remember
but
Vile.
they were like dark,
Yeah.
heavy, industrial,
Mhm.
nasty, nasty music. And there was this one song that Vibrator plays, and God bless Vibrator. I love those guys. I love music. I love creativity. But it was the energy. The song was called Hatred, and it
Mhm.
was just screaming hatred, jugga, 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 you know, like just heavy, bad. It just
Yeah.
felt so bad because at that point I was listening to binaural beats and, like, you know, meditation music, and I was like, I
Mhm.
can't believe I'm playing this stuff, and it just didn't feel right,
Right.
playing it. And you know, again, I knew it was a temporary gig. I
Mhm.
told the guy that it didn't feel right and I couldn't do it, and he's like, oh, I already committed to the gig and everything, so I did it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I had fun. I had the funnest fun I could have, you know, even knowing it. I think it was easier to have fun knowing that I
Right.
wasn't vibrating with it, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's so funny that the band's called Vibrator, right? Like,
And but you weren't vibing.
it's all about vibration, right? And
Mhm.
it's like, holy shit. So yeah, it was just, you know, life is just amazingly funny. What's up, Bernadette? Good to see you. Um, yeah, life is just so funny. So I want to have we set up Shane Penguin enough, or do you want to set up Shane Penguin a little more
Well,
before we play the video?
no, I think we set it up pretty well. You know, for those people who are like, what kind of music is it? It was already mentioned in the comments. Penguin rock. You can go back
Penguin Rock. It is Penguin Rock. So
because
so tell us a little bit about the story behind the video we're going to see, which is The Fear and Loathing of Dr. Gonzo, the official music video.
the Fear and Loathing of Dr. Gonzo, one is a huge tribute to Hunter S. Thompson. And it's actually a song that really, appreciate. Thank you. Um, it really has to do with comparing addiction to love.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and that was where I came from the lyrical point of view of it, you know, where the lyrics are like, some buy their love by how much it weighs, others drink it down just to numb the pain, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but we do it with a great backbeat, so you're dancing to it.
Not only that, but just like, I mean, people, it's the fun spirit of it is like immediately,
Hmm.
you know, obvious. And then
Well, do you know the video we're parodying or we're
I
paying tribute
don't,
to?
I don't, but I will say that I got a very heavy Red Hot Chili Peppers vibe from it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a Chili Peppers vibe, but we're paying tribute to Captain Beefheart.
Captain Beefheart. Oh, that makes a lot of sense because it's
Yeah.
much more. It's definitely much more. It's much older looking than the Chili Peppers. Yeah.
So we created a band within the band, and you know so all of us and um I forget what I forget, I think my name was Strawberry because
Mhm, mhm.
you know Captain Beefheart had to fire his drummer because he couldn't play a strawberry on the snare.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. But it's these little inside jokes that make us all laugh.
That's
And
hysterical.
you know, if someone else clicks onto it, it's amazing. You know,
It's great. Yeah.
to have that in to be able to do that musically is just one of the most fun things out there. You know,
That's
we
great.
leave Easter eggs in everything we do. Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. Amazing. Lynn met Captain Beefheart.
Yes,
That's
that's
amazing. That's amazing.
amazing.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, I hope you're ready for this, right? Like, just put on your, we're going out there caps, because we're going out there with some penguin music that I don't think anybody has ever experienced. And I'm hoping, tell me, just like put your thumbs up if you could hear the sound, because it supposedly is sound and everything ready to go. And here we go. Fear and Loathing of Dr. Gonzo.
Somebody loved by how much it weighs. Others drink it down just to numb the pain. Cut it up and snort it down. Do what you do just to hide the shame. Shakes overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Shakes overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Some climb the trees so green. Hydroponically, they mask their pain. Break it up and pack it down. Light one up just to hide the shade. Shakes overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Shakes overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Shakes overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Shakes overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie. Overcome me, withdraw, you'll find me. What's become of me? Another love junkie.
Beautiful. I love that. As have you had too much to think? I love that.
It's from Captain Beefheart.
That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the things we wanted to make sure, those little Easter eggs we were leaving behind in there. And you know, it's
Bring it on, she said.
And one of the things that I loved about it is at the very end when it breaks into the double bass part.
Yeah.
We wanted the whole Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory like nightmare aspect of it,
Totally. Yeah, totally. I mean, you're doing it, man. It's like you're creating your own reality. I love it. It must have been so much fun to like dress up and like,
it was
like shoot that and amazing.
The amazing people at Fashionista who actually did some of the work for did some of the fashion work for the HBO show Vintage. We got to use them.
That's cool.
Because they were people who we knew through the Rock Lottery.
That's very cool. So Lynn just had a flashback. Lynn says Captain Beefheart and Frank Zappa were buds, and they hung out in my hometown in the California high desert. and she just had a flashback.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad I could be here for that flashback.
Job well done. Yeah, there's so many things to talk about in that video. I thought it's so funny, Dustin. We're both like, aren't there any videos that we could show? Isn't there anything? And you send me these live videos, which are also really awesome because it shows the essence of like, I just don't give a fuck. Like a lot of the videos like start like with you like on the other side of the field from the band, or like somewhere else, and you're like talking to the audience and you're dancing with the audience as you're playing your songs. Like it's very interactive. You're just a part. It's all such a tribute to living in the moment. And just not taking it too seriously and just being and doing what you love, which is really, I mean, I don't think I've even talked about it, but you are so passionate about singing. Like you are just, it's so evident watching you perform when you watch you perform. And I haven't seen you live in probably a good 20 years. But watching you perform,
we're going to fix this. We're coming to Long Island. We're coming to Long Island. It's going to be a couple of months because we actually are getting a new bass player. Our bass player has decided to move on. Wish him nothing but the best. But he's with us for another couple of months, and so we're gonna have some fun, cause some chaos, and finish this record.
Best attitude ever, yeah.
And then we get to evolve with this new bass player. Awesome. But we're definitely going to be coming down to Long Island. I don't know. Patty Dodge doesn't pick up my messages on the thing.
Patty Dodge, if you're listening, WTF. I'll reach out to Patty. I'll tell her. Right. I'll tell her to answer you. I speak to her once in a while. I see her every once in a while out and about here on Long Island. Tim was buying a Jeep. He's sorry he's late. I'm glad you have a new Jeep though, Tim.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations on the Jeep.
And he says, "Hola, Dustin." He comes from Brazil. He likes to speak as Brazilian. So do you have this new bass player already, or?
Yeah, we actually found him, and again was more looking for the phenomenal human being.
Right.
Of course, we can teach music.
Of course.
You can, it's not a matter of finding what the perfect sound is going to be. It's going to be what is the sound of these four individuals coming together in this moment. And that's what it makes.
I'm so glad that you found them. Yeah. That's awesome. I can't wait. And I can't wait till you come to Long Island.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Totally amazing, man. I can't wait. I think I'm going to have you back. I think we only really scratched the surface. This was a lot of fun. But we've come to kind of got to close. All right. I don't like to keep everybody too long. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, so I like people to go to sleep. But I did want to, first of all, thank you so much.
Of course.
I want to give you the opportunity to say something to my audience. Like I always ask for this, and I'm going to give you a minute to think because I want to share that video I showed you earlier from Monday. But I usually ask for words of wisdom, words of advice, or dad jokes. So any one of those would be good, or all three of those would be great. And Vivian says, love your ikigai, life purpose. Exactly. I love that. Amazing. And Ninja Kitty says, thank you. And Tim says he'll be out in Long Island as well. So awesome, Tim. I'm glad I was able to introduce you to, awesome, Dustin. I'm glad I was able to introduce you to Tim and the rest of my audience.
Yes, it's awesome.
It seems like you got a couple of people who got it.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
awesome.
great because you're always like, are people going to get it? I don't, and you don't care if
No, I
people
don't
get
care.
it. And
I
that's
don't care
what,
at all.
and that's what makes it so good.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so real.
It's
so
a matter
good.
of, did I get it? And that's really
That's
what it
right.
comes down
That's
to.
exactly right. I love that attitude so much. I actually just got off of Threads because there was too much like people saying AI isn't art and arguing back and forth, and that's like, that's not the point. You're missing the point. So I just got off of it, and I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. I don't need to give it energy. But what I did want to share with you folks before you leave is Monday night I did an amazing event that I think is going to be the first of many. I collaborated at this amazing studio called Emerge Holistic Center with Vanessa, who owns it. And we did this immersive yoga class with live music. It was the hand drum and excuse me, the harmonium and chanting and singing. And I did projections on all of the walls, and I have a little bit of video from it to give you guys a little taste of what it was like. Let's add that to this. The video was reacting to the drums. He was meditating. Oh, I think that was the link to that one. Hold on, let me show you guys another one real quick. This one's wide format. Let's do that one. So remove that one.
On the head. Exhale, spin a little bit more. Feel an unlocking in the shoulders and the upper back. And just allow yourself to take in the energy of the room through all of your senses. See what you're seeing. Hear what you're hearing. Smell what you're smelling. Taste what you're tasting.
So there you go. That was a little bit of the experience, and it was really an amazing experiment and first go. And Arnie says, "Cool, Michael." Yeah, it was really good, and thank you so much to Jen and Melissa and Vanessa, who were the people I was collaborating with. Melissa and Jen were playing the music. Vanessa was instructing the class, and it was just amazing. So, all right, have you thought about it? What have you got for?
I did, and you want to know something? I'm gonna give the audience what the main thing that my mom gave me.
Okay.
And that is the secret of life is in the harmonies.
The secret of life is in the harmonies. I love that. And it's so true. It's like, you know, I was talking about source and God and that today. And we were talking about not only the idea that each one of us is an aspect of that meant to experience the rest of them, but just how important it was to kind of look at like each one of us is a cell in God's body.
Right.
That's just a great way to look at it, and I love that. So much respect. I am you from another perspective. Thank you so much for being here. Don't go away after the credits because I want to talk to you. But thanks for being here, man. That was a great conversation.
Good time. Thank you for having me. Appreciate
All right.
you.
Everybody, peace. Everybody, see you next week.
Gotta ask yourself whether reality is a dream or you a dream for reality. We're all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment.